Oh, head first.
There's going to be a lot of contact out there today. People are going to be flying at high speed.
Ready, go!
Whoever gets the first line is going to win it, so up at the top, people are going to be slamming each other, and people are going to be going down, for sure. We got hard elbow pads, we got shoulder pads, we got chest protector, we got spinal protector in the back, kidney belt, and BMX pants with hard plastic knee pads and shin guards with full face helmets.
Would you do this race without it?
No, sir, I would not. No way.
Oh, really?
No way.
So why do you want to do it?
Because I want to win. I won the downhill today, and I want to win this thing.
Oh, baby. Oh, bring it on.
First, there was cross country. Then came downhill, world championships, and in 1996, full Olympic medal status. Now mountain biking is reinventing itself once again in 1998 with a new event called Biker Cross. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the beautiful Gunnison River Valley for the Paul Mitchell Biker Cross Downhill. This is a brand new event in Colorado. With me is event organizer Todd Moore. And Todd, for 10 years, we've seen a great excitement level in mountain biking, but this is going to boost it up even more.
We wanted a higher excitement level, Biker Cross, because it's basically a border cross on bikes. 4 riders leave the start up here behind us, right into that first gnarly ditch, come down, hit over berms and jumps. It's going to be high speed, thrills and spills, Rod.
Well, over 24 participants have taken on the challenge. Let's go to the top.
A total of 6 heats in round number 1. This is heat number A. Typically 4 riders abreast at the start. This one with 3. An early scratch by Dave Kozlowski. Thomas Park, Guy Stevenson, and Gerard Melanson. Melanson with a whole shot and gets out to the early lead.
Whole shot's going to be crucial today, as well as once you get out front, you've got to maintain your lead. You've got to keep your balance perfectly centered over those tires. This turn number 4 coming up is loose dirt.
Oh, and Stevenson with a washout right there, and Melanson able to increase his lead. Loose dirt all over this course, and you see there's some good jumps and bumps, and it's really going to be a tough challenge all day.
This is a short track. 1 minute or less. This is what makes the difference here. The first ever Biker Cross. We've got berms and jumps, made for TV, minute or less run time.
On the last pitch to the finish line, Melanson with a slight lead. Stevens putting on a rush. Melanson will get across the line first. He really had to put the pedal to the metal there.
You can see him banging elbows there. Gerard gets the whole shot. Goes down through the first ditch with the gnarly berms there. And right there is where Guy Stevenson washes out his back wheel. His weight was too far back going into that crucial turn number 4. Now Guy is coming up, putting the pressure on Gerard. He feels that pressure, puts the pedal to the metal, and he gets it.
Ready for heat number B. Left to right, Brian Ballard, Michael Trejo, Nathan Rankin, and Judko. And Rankin elbows his way to the lead in the whole shot.
When you get that lead early, you can pick your own line. You can go over the smoother terrain while the riders behind you got to hit all those bumps, and it takes them longer to do that.
Well, you talked about holding on, Todd. You see a little sketch out on that corner in turn number 4. A look back to see how quickly they're catching up. But Rankin has a good lead. There's a little bit of bump and grind behind him.
Once again, up here at the upper whoop-de-doos, catching some air. Once you get that whole shot, that's a clear advantage, and you're going to win the race if you can hold on, hit those corners properly with your weight evenly distributed between your tires.
Well, there's a lot of things that could jump up and bite you in a race like this, but not for Rankin. He got the whole shot and a clear victory.
Okay, right here, they're bumping elbows. He comes out, he gets that whole shot. He's going over a smoother terrain while the other riders got to go over more bumpy terrain. That's what gave him the advantage going out of the start. Now he's increased his advantage. Coming down here into the upper whoop-de-doos, you can barely see any riders back behind him.
Is Biker Cross Downhill the future? One of the top mountain bike officials in the world, Dean Crandall.
Well, this is the first one that is NORBA sanctioned that is real short, a minute or less. So we're quite proud to see how it's going. You know, the race has only been announced for a week, so to have this many spectators today is great. I was at the Winter Games in Breckenridge, and we had border cross there, and I got to see it for the first time. And this is pretty much like that. A bunch of guys going down the same course. It narrows down into the finish area. So, a lot of bumping and grinding.
Do you need video production services for corporate communications, a training video, a television commercial to drive sales of your business? JSP can make your production a success. We offer top quality services at the most affordable rates available. John Sandy Productions, Inc. is a highly motivated team of video film production and multimedia experts. Put the power of video communications to work for you. 303-721-6121 or visit us on the web, jsptv.com.
Welcome back to Gunnison, Colorado, the first ever biker cross downhill, readying for Heat 3. Before we ride on, let's hear from course designer and World Cup cross-country rider Dave Weems.
I'd already had some ideas in my head about how we could sort of bridge the gap between dual slalom and downhill, and this is the ideal format. Spectators could basically see the entire course from some areas, and Greg and I put the course together, and we just had that really steep hill that started up at the top. So the top part of the course is real steep, and it looks like that was pretty decisive in the course. Guys could get ahead there and get kind of a gap. Then you come down and there's some real nice natural big berms on the sides, and then some drop-offs, which are also in the downhill course. And then it turned into just a road race. So that was about it, a real technical slippery top and then a lightning fast bottom. It's a great format. Like you say, it might be tough at some of the skiers because there's so much natural terrain up there. There's old Jeep roads that are wide. It's perfect for 4 bikes, and they're kind of banked up on the sides and they're whooped out. And we're just really lucky with the way this happens to be naturally.
Yeah, I like this format a lot. You get more for your money. It's more dicey. It's more tactic to it. And it's different than racing against a clock. You know, there's other people you have to deal with on the course. Sometimes you're not able to hit your line that you want to hit. And it was fun.
And the Greg that Dave Weems referred to, your brother, who helped
Riders
design
ready,
this course.
go.
Ready to see it in action in heat number C. Tim Sharon, Sean Huber, Robbie Roop, and Jimmy Mortensen. And it is Roop with the whole shot and the early lead.
When we talk about the whole shot, that means you're out in the lead and you can take your first choice of line, the fastest line that you've chosen out when you're pre-riding the course.
Stretching the lead right here, but coming up to turn number 4, they're starting to bunch back up, and Mortensen goes down.
Once again, he had his weight too far forward there in that crucial turn number 4. That caused that crash, and he lost second place because of it.
Well, this has become more of a race now with Roop out front, but a rider right on his heels.
Over the upper whoop-de-doos, and he's right on Roop's tail.
Tim Sharon is that rider. He's swinging out wide on the corner, trying for the pass, and that causes him a problem. And now here comes Mortensen. But that is going to be an easy ride from Roop here on out. No more technical difficulties on this course. He is going to cruise to victory and move on to round 2, the semifinal.
Rob Roop wins it. Tim Sharon has the inside line, but Robbie Roop, internationally known downhiller, shows us why he's so famous with his strong pedaling ability, takes the lead into turn 1. Now Sharon's keeping the pressure on, but right here he's got his weight too far back, washes out on that corner, and is in danger of losing second place. And yes, indeed, the next rider coming around is going to take over second place, as you see right there.
Well, communication is one of the keys to a great race. Organizers using the new Motorola talk about 2 ways to exchange information.
Motorola is the official communications company of the Colorado Off-Road Point Series. Communications are crucial to running a quality event. Timers at the bottom need to know when the racers are on course so they can start the clock or call the ambulance when a rider is injured. Also, when our staff is out playing, we use Motorola Talk About two-way radios when we're hiking, biking, skiing, and camping. When your group is equipped with Talk About radios, you're well connected.
Talk about communications technology for the 21st century from Motorola, sponsor of the Colorado Off-Road Point Series and Biker Cross Downhill.
Colorado Off-Road Point Series wishes to thank Motorola Talk About radios for their support.
Ready for Heat D in the first round. Left to right across the front, we'll have Phil Fuller, Bryce Purchase, and Pete Seligman.
And Bryce Purchase out first. Oh, and he gets shoved out of his line and down in the dirt.
Right back up and on the bike and back in the race, but right now it is Phil Fuller in the blue-green jersey and the jeans in the lead.
Coming down here into that 4th corner, makes it through there good where everybody else has been crashing.
And he is advancing his lead. This looks like an easy ride to victory for Phil Fuller.
You know, we were hoping that these riders would stay bunched together than when we designed this course, but sometimes the guy just gets out in front, and if he doesn't fall, there's nothing the other riders can do to catch him, Rod.
Well, all these riders realize that there could be carnage at one time or another. They prepare themselves for it. Oh, and right there you see Seligman almost going off course, and then he does go off course right back in, but that's just going to solidify the victory for Phil Fuller. He will move on to the semifinals.
You can see Bryce here had the line, and then he gets muscled out of that line and down for a soil sample and off the course. That puts Phil out in front, once again, not wearing pads like the rest of these riders. He's got on just his jeans and his jersey.
4 riders have advanced to our semifinals with 2 heats still to go. Gerard Melanson, Nathan Rankin, Robbie Roop, and Phil Fuller are in. The beautiful Gunnison River Valley, site for the first ever sanctioned biker cross downhill, our final 2 heats in round 1 when we return. Back in Gunnison, Colorado, 2 heats left in round 1 of the Paul Mitchell Biker Cross Downhill. 4 riders have advanced to the semifinals, 1 rider from each heat here in the first round. Left to right, it's Scott Summers, Jeremy Hewlett, Chris Rowan, and Ryan Harris. They are on course.
Chris and Jeremy going after it. Chris takes the lead early.
Not much bump and grind on that start. Rowan able to pedal out to the front. Notice a couple quick pedals down that steep section too. He is really riding well here. Oh, a little sketch out on corner number 4, and that's going to slow him down. But sketch outs by the riders behind him too. He stays in the lead.
Jeremy's right on his tail, catches a little air there, and he might be able to catch him, Rod.
This is a great race. Chris Rowan riding spectacularly well, hanging on for dear life right here as Jeremy Hewlett stays on his wheel.
Coming into this crucial corner, let's see how they do. They both get through it smooth, and Jeremy could still have this race if he can catch up to Chris.
Rowan riding an outstanding race. You saw, look back right there. Now coming into the final couple of curves, it's all downhill from here. And starting to stretch his lead, some good pedaling down here at the bottom.
Jeremy had his chance there on that flat, but he didn't catch up to Chris, and now Chris has obviously put a large gap on second place.
Rowan with a stronger pedaling sails to victory. Out of the box, it was quite a race, not much bump and grind. You see Rowan take the outside line, and then Hewlett had to hold back a little bit. That was the key right there. And then the pedaling down the final stretch, and he moves into the semifinals. We now have 5 riders in with 1 heat still to go. Steve Smith, Matthew Keefe, and Peter Berridge here in Heat F.
Peter comes out in the lead, and this is the first time that somebody from the far side has taken the lead.
Some trouble by the other 2 riders, so that means that Peter Berridge has a distinct advantage. Only 3 riders in this heat. We had a scratch from one of our other riders coming into turn number 4. Berridge able to hang on.
Peter Berridge riding for Team Big Crank, and they are on our Downhill Riders Committee. They help us design a lot of these courses.
In fact, they have a course in mind for our 2nd ever Biker Cross Downhill coming up in Conifer in a couple weeks.
And coming into that corner, and now Steve Smith, takes a little soil sample. Once again, he's got his weight too far forward on that front wheel, washes out, and he's down in the dirt.
Well, you saw Peter Berridge pull up. He will move into our semis with an easy victory.
Peter Berridge here coming from the outside, taking the aggressive pedal, cuts in that corner, and gets into the early lead. Other 2 riders tangle up a little bit, and that makes it a smooth coast for Peter Berridge coming out of Heat F, advancing to the semifinals.
Well, a very intense sport, as you have seen. There has been some carnage, but there is also some sportsmanship. Here are riders stopping to help a fellow rider who has gone down. Well, there's also plenty of product on hand here at the Biker Cross Downhill. Let's go to Dave Willey for an update.
All right, Rod, we're here with Scooter Lewis from SRAM Corporation. He's got some of the hot new items here. Why don't you tell us what you got here?
We have our new derailleurs on display here. The 98 model ESP derailleurs are made specifically for mountain biking. Their 98 models are much stronger, forged aluminum links here and dual springs, so they'll shift very fast. And our new shifters have a new all conditions grip that'll allow a rider to get grip in any condition at all while it's still comfortable out of the showroom even, or on the bike path for that matter. So very aggressive but comfy is how we describe all conditions in this case.
So what kind of advantage does a guy have if he's using one of those?
Faster shifts is the most obvious and biggest advantage. Long-term performance is also advantageous, but right away a rider can tell that they can shift this. It's what we call intuitiveness. It's easy for the rider to discern what to do, and the bike responds immediately.
Scooter, thanks.
You bet.
Scooter Lewis from SRAM Corporation. Rod, the advancements never end.
Thanks, Dave. Back out on course, our injured rider sitting up now, still getting help from his fellow rider. Appears to be okay. Perhaps had the wind knocked out of him. He is holding his wrist. We'll have him checked
All right.
out.
You be all right, bud?
Yeah, I'll be okay.
And we'll be back. Ready for Heat A in our semifinals. 3 riders, 2 will advance. Left to right, Peter Berridge, Phil Fuller, and Nathan Rankin.
Riders ready? Go.
Underway in our semifinals, and Peter Berridge with trouble from the start. Wheelies out, and that immediately puts him into 3rd place. Nathan Rankin in the blue and black jersey in 1st place, followed by Phil Fuller and then Peter Berridge. Remember, 2 riders advance from this heat into our finals.
Peter Berridge, one of the pre-race favorites. We're not used to seeing him mess up his start like that. And once again here, we're going to have a real battle for 2nd and 3rd position to see who advances.
You see Nathan Rankin looking back right there. A nice strong ride as he comes down through this little downhill section. Remember, he's got to hold on, and there is still a battle for 2nd place as 2 riders will advance to the final. Around the tough corner and into the flat section for Nathan Rankin. He's got a decided advantage. One more look back, and he's going to have an easy victory, but still a battle for 2nd place.
Phil and Pete are going to have to really duke it out here to see who's going to advance. This is for their day of racing today. 3rd place is done for the day.
Into the final corner, and here comes Berridge on the outside, pedaling
Oh,
hard.
and he's passing him.
And he has got it. It'll be Nathan Rankin moving on to the finals, along with Peter Berridge by a wheel.
You can see him. Pete has trouble right there, right out of the start. And so Nathan's got a clear lead going into it. And then right here is where Peter comes around the outside and takes Phil and moves on to the finals.
Ready for Heat B in our semifinal. Right to left, it'll be Chris Rowan in the yellow pants, Gerard Melanson in the middle, and on the inside, it'll be Robbie
15
Roop,
seconds, guys.
the noted downhill. Out and on course, a very clean start, very tight with Roop, a slight advantage on the inside. On the outside, it is Chris Rowan trying to make up ground. Coming into the corner, and there is some carnage right there.
Trying to go for the same line, and Gerard runs right over Robbie's arm. Oh.
Well, Melanson able to avoid the carnage, and now it is Rowan back up on his bike as Roop remains on the ground. So Melanson going to get a free pass into the finals. Here comes Chris Rowan back up on his bike. He will also move into the finals.
Chris is trying to pass right here. They're duking it out for the same line, and you see Robbie going right over the bars. Let's take a look at it from a different angle here. Once again, they're both trying to hit that same line, and their elbows get tangled up. Robbie's wheel gets caught up, and that's what sent them both flying. Now it's up to Gerard to use his brakes. You can see him getting back on his bike, trying to avoid the pileup. And right here, you'll see he runs right over Robbie's arm with his pedal. So the fact that Gerard was able to get those brakes on and slow down and go around lets him advance.
Some carnage in our semifinals, one of the most exciting races, if that's what you like. But you see Gerard Melanson down through the finish line. He will move on to the finals, as will Chris Rowan, who was able to get back up and on his bike. As for Roop, he's still aching a little bit, but he appears to be okay.
Well, I had a good start. We went into the 2nd turn, and unfortunately, I'm not really riding a good downhill bike. You know, it's actually my cross-country bike, and I couldn't go to the inside because it was too rough, you know, for me to tangle. So he had a good spot to go, and we tangled, and I don't quite remember what happened.
Well, tough break for Robbie Roop. He is out of this, but Gerard Melanson and 3 other riders advance to our finale of the Paul Mitchell Biker Cross Downhill. They're in the pickup truck heading back to the top. Here are the riders. Nathan Rankin, Gerard Melanson, Peter Berridge, and Chris Rowan will battle it out in the first ever Paul Mitchell Biker Cross Downhill. It'll be Nathan Rankin, Peter Berridge, there's Gerard Melanson, and Chris Rowan.
Okay, get ready.
Okay.
Yep.
Riders ready, go!
Underway, this is for all the marbles. It is our finale in the Paul Mitchell Biker Cross Downhill. A little bit of rubbing right there as Peter Berridge moves out to the lead.
You can hear Chris Rowan scraping tires with our leader, Pete Berridge, and let's see what happens down here in this crucial turn 4, the heavy right in the loose dirt.
Well, Berridge gets through it okay,
Oh,
but there is
Chris
trouble by
washes
Chris
out.
Rowan. And that means that Gerard Melanson moves into 2nd place, but it lengthens the distance that Peter Berridge has on the rest of the field.
Once again, that turn was very crucial. That's where Gerard moved ahead of Chris because his weight was too far forward. Oh! And Chris crashing into that big rock under the lower whoop-de-doo. Looks like he's okay.
So some more carnage, but it is still all Peter Berridge at this point. All he's got to do is hang on, and he will be the champion of the very first, and almost
Scraping
another
tires
rough
again.
right there. It is a sprint to the finish for Peter Berridge in the orange. He will win it all, the first ever champion of the Paul Mitchell Biker Cross Downhill. And in second place, it is going to be Gerard Melanson with Nathan Rankin third.
Coming out of the start, Pete's got the lead, and Chris is going for the pass, and right here, oh, they almost crashed together. Now we see the crucial turn 4, and Chris is going into that turn with his weight too far forward, washes out his front wheel, and this is where Gerard makes his pass and holds on to second place down through the finish.
But Peter Berridge is our winner. Let's talk to our champ.
Peter, kind of a rough and tumble afternoon all day, but you came out on top.
Managed to stay up, yeah. Some good competition out there, though. All my buddies gave me a good run for my money.
Take me top to bottom on the last run.
Kind of snapped, I think, almost everyone out of the gate. And then Chris was trying to make the pass in the very first turn. I could feel him buzzing my tire. And then getting closer towards the bottom, I could hear people yelling Gerard's name. So I knew Gerard was right behind me. I know he's a strong peddler. So I never looked back once. I just kept on pedaling because I figured he was real close behind me.
Peter got too far ahead to chase him down, playing around in the back. So one thing I tried to attack somewhat, but he's a very strong peddler, and I'm pretty tired, so he pulled it off.
Congratulations to our first ever champion in Biker Cross Downhill, Peter Berridge. Gerard Melanson finishes second, Nathan Rankin third, and Chris Rowan rounds out our top 4 at the Paul Mitchell Biker Cross Downhill from here in Gunnison. Todd, all in all, it was a wonderful afternoon. An excellent course, some excellent riding, and a little bit of carnage.
You know, there's been 4-man downhills in the past before, Rod, but this is the first ever Biker Cross Downhill where we've got berms and jumps and a short track made for TV.
We hate to see anyone take an ambulance ride, but sometimes where there is pain in sports, there is also gain. And Peter Berridge is our champion in the first ever Paul Mitchell Biker Cross Downhill here in Gunnison. For Todd Moore and I'm Rod Elisha. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. So long, everybody.